Peace, Oakland. I'm back live on a beautiful Saturday afternoon with none other than Edward Escobar, aka the Silver Fox, aka the courageous Crusader. Edward, welcome to the show, brother. Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
So we're here to talk about the police chief, Floyd Mitchell, aka Texas Roadhouse, quitting. His last day is December 5th. At least he gave us, a month and a half notice or 2 months notice. But I want to get your thoughts on why he left. And for those of you who may not know Escobar, if you're living in a cave and you haven't turned on your TV or social media in the past 2 years, Edward is one of the um, most active activists. It's early in the morning. My words are not finding me. But Edward is very active in supporting victims of crimes, especially retail owners, and he helps them get a voice. So lots of times when people are getting robbed, like just yesterday, another 7-Eleven was robbed with a ramming rob in Montclair, right? So Edward and Twan will show up and they will contact the media and they will have press conferences. As a matter of fact, it was Edward's work and advocacy that probably led to those criminals in San Jose being caught by Mayor Matt because they went down there to support that jewelry store after it was robbed. Edward, let's talk about that first before we move into the discussion around Texas Roadhouse. Did you go down there when that jewelry store was held up when they beat up that old man? Was that y'all?
That's correct. Yeah, it was actually the same day that we received the information. We were down there right away, and it's incredible, but it does take the amplification of the voice of these business owners and even of residents that are being victimized by this over out of control crime wave that's occurring before the media, before anyone else gets involved and starts to do something so that we could get some results to get out ahead of this crime wave. And I mean, basically just even addressing it, because you have folks like Barbara Lee that want to repeat false narratives and state
Mm-hmm.
that it's not
Everything's
occurring.
fine.
Yeah,
Everything's
that it's
fine.
not occurring. Everything's fine, repeating lies as if they're truths. And everyone on the
This
street knows that that's not the case. We wish it was better, but wishing doesn't do the job. It is what it is, and we have to work with what we have.
I think it's interesting. The city auditor's report also recently came out discussing how the 911 calls was way behind and people weren't able to even report crime. And so, of course, crime is down if you can't report it because
Yeah.
911 takes hours to pick up. And by the time you get any help, you've had to pull out your own gun and John Wick 5 people like the guy down at the gold store on International. All right, Edward sent me some videos. Let's just jump right into it. We're going to watch them and react to them. The first is right here. Oakland Police Commission hosts its first meeting since Chief Mitchell's resignation.
To sit here on this day is to let my commissioners get attacked.
Heated moments during Thursday's Oakland Police Commission meeting. Although not on the agenda, both commissioners and the public commenting on OPD Chief Floyd Mitchell's resignation announcement this week. Mitchell is the 11th police chief to lead OPD in the past 15 years. At the meeting, some in attendance said they believe the commission played a role in Mitchell's decision to leave.
It's multifactorial, but I think that our oversight mechanisms, which include the Police Commission, the Privacy Commission, the Measure NN Commission, as well as the Negotiated Settlement Agreement, all those, no other place has this many hurdles that a police department has to go through.
Rajni Mandel has been attending police commission meetings for the past few years. She worries the revolving door of police chiefs is not only bad for the city, but also for the morale of the police department.
And that leads to decreased, case clearance and crime solving on the street, and it has a downstream effect.
Commission Chair Ricardo Garcia Acosta pushed back on the claims of Mandel and others who shared similar views. Garcia Acosta says the commission has had a good relationship with Chief Mitchell and that the two have worked together to enact better policies.
We're not going to accept just slander out here and attacking our commissioners when we're doing the best job that we can.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
This
let's
woke
stop it
joke.
there.
Yeah,
Let's stop.
bro.
Stop
This
it.
fucking
He will-
liar. He is a police abolitionist. This guy does not think we should have police. He thinks police are all
That's
slave
correct.
catchers.
Yeah, they're all hardcore ideologue activists that are on that panel, except one member. One
Fuck
member to
that
wit.
guy. Fuck
Yeah.
that guy.
And so, what he's done here is he will be more passionate about protecting the fellow commissioners. Why? Because they're aligned with the same mindset that he has. So he will spend more of his passion trying to defend these failed policies from his failed commissioners that have really no real qualification to really even be there and to be commenting on this. But he will protect them before he will protect the people of Oakland. It's just incredible. But this is what we're dealing with. And that's why you have the chief and anybody else who would come into that position, that this is what they have to deal with. And that's why he's going away, because who needs this nonsense? They paint a target and demonize the law enforcement. It's utterly ridiculous. These are services that
And
people
then they
are
lie
paying
about it.
for.
They lie about it on the news. They won't just come out and say we hate cops. We have a great relationship with them. You fucking liars.
Yeah,
These people
and
are so
really,
disgusting.
he's a nonprofit ideologue activist that they want to keep the dysfunction in place so that way the nonprofit grifters that are their cronies are able to continue to make the hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. The APTP, the Coalition for Police Accountability, the Oakland Risings, all of these casts of characters of the usual suspects are the ones that try to drive the narrative, the false narrative that is, and they're making millions of dollars in the process. Unacceptable.
Yes, they are. You know what? If you just turn on Gotham Oakland for the first time and you have not been watching, just know that Barbara Lee's, Lee's chief of staff, Mia Sakachin, used to be the chief of staff for Nikki Fortunato Bass and helped co-author the Defund the Police bill in 2019 that attempted to defund OPD by 50%. They had to settle for defunding by just $18 million. But just know that these are all police defunders and abolitionists who are now running the city, and you're wondering why our police chief, Texas Roadhouse, is quitting. We got another
And
video
also
from,
mention the fact that she was also on and worked for Open Society, George Soros as well. So
yeah,
they
comes right
promote
from
the
there.
same failed policies that we've seen in Pamela Price, the DA, who we recalled, in Chesa Boudin, in George Gascon in LA, the deep blue dysfunctional centers of these major cities, LA, San Francisco, Oakland, all driven from the same source. So it's kind of it's pretty hard to not see the fact that it's a repetition of the same failed policies from the same sources. If you look at the core problems and the source of them, you'll see it's all the same. And so that's where it's able to be pinpointed and then addressed and hopefully eliminated soon. They need to be abolished. They need to be defunded is what needs to
Absolutely.
happen.
Get rid of all these police commissions except the one that we're
Yeah.
mandated to have by
San Francisco's doing it. They're providing oversight for the oversight committees, and they're saying that there's way too much nonsense that's bureaucratic, as I call it, police bureaucrazy, right? It's just disrupting. It's disrupting them from doing their job, and it's their job that the taxpayers are paying for. It's protection services. That's part of the deal, and it's not.
I have some questions about why it's not ending, and we're outnumbered in these meetings because the people who are being affected by these policies the most, the working poor, don't have the luxury of time to go to these meetings and self-advocate, and most of the activists you see there are just that paid activists who are getting paid by George Soros, Open Society, and mega billionaires, tech fascists, or whatever.
And they're being funded by the city as well.
They are.
So
let's get. I want to hear more about that, but let's play this video first that you sent me.
The Oakland Police Commission responding to people pointing the finger at them for the chief's resignation announcement. KRON 4's Sarah Stinson reports from tonight's Police Commission meeting at Oakland City Hall.
Some people are blaming the police commission for Chief Floyd Mitchell's resignation. The president of the commission passionately defended their working relationship with the chief, saying there's a false narrative being spread out there.
and I'm obviously dismayed that the chief
wow,
is leaving,
she's
but I sort
everywhere.
of understand because of all the things he has to go through in order to get any policies or anything done.
Community members showed up to the Oakland Police Commission meeting Thursday night, trying to make sense of Police Chief Floyd Mitchell's resignation announcement. Some people pointed to the commissioner's oversight.
I see a bunch of
No
mad
other place
soggies.
has this many hurdles that the police department has to go through in order to implement policy and equipment and technology.
But it
They wanna
seems
attack
like there
Rogers
was
so bad, but
disagreement
they can't,
between the police department and this commission on just about everything.
Police Commission President Ricardo Garcia Acosta says this narrative is misguided and false.
Disagree with much of the comments and accusations that were made against this commission tonight. Under past leadership, where personal text messages were read on the dais, that's not going to happen. But I sure have personal text messages from the chief thanking us for all the work we did in our partnership.
Yeah, he's trying to be
Garcia
diplomatic.
Acosta
you
says
fucking
he's
idiot.
shocked the chief
Oh,
is
look at
stepping
Court
down
Justice
less
Johnson
than 2
sitting over
years
here.
on the job.
He needs to
And
quit
he
too.
believes the commission worked well with the chief.
Behind the scenes, we put countless amount of hours meeting with the chief, his executive staff.
That's the fucking point. He's spending countless amount of hours
And-
with the police commission. You fucking idiot. You think he wants to spend countless? You think he wants to spend countless amount of hours with you fucktards?
Yeah, they as if they're that important. They create self-importance, but the reality is that they're not qualified to even be involved there. They need to have their commission abolished because it's just utter nonsense. It's a distraction. They're disruptors. And look, he's always going to spread a false narrative, and he's going to project that onto his opponents. That's what he's doing constantly. Yeah, exactly. Redirect, right? Misdirection.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing. It's so clear and evident.
Reverse victim offender. Hold on, man. Mr. Escobar. Edward. I must know. When do you see these people? Oh, here's my question. I was trying to remember. That's probably being automatic. But so these two were removed from the police commission, and now there's talks to bring them back. What's going on here? They're mad that they were removed. They're mad that they were removed and they wanted to be reappointed. Like, what is this crap? Why are we spending time on this? And why the average person, I don't think really knows what's going on, which is why we really need to be blowing the whistle on how much time we're wasting. But we heard them just there. They spent countless amount of hours with our police chief, with this police commission. And you know what they talk about? You want to know what they talk about? We're going to get to that in a minute.
Nonsense.
Yeah, not using Bearcats, or why we shouldn't have rifles for cops and demilitarized.
No, and they call every form of law enforcement equipment to be used militarized. So they try to frame it, first of all, in a antagonistic, adversarial manner that's threatening. And then they say that the population of Oakland, when they see this equipment, they're going to be traumatized with PTSD. Like, are you kidding me? Where is this coming from? But here's the thing, the echo chamber, these folks, they own it. And so they repeat lies as if they're truths. And they're the ones that are spreading the false narrative, and they should be disbanded. They should abolish this commission. It's an utter waste of taxpayers' dollars. Because whether these folks, whether they're volunteers or not, the fact is that it costs money to set up this in the council chambers to support all the work that they're doing. All of that costs a lot of money, and it's basically put off the police department from doing their job. They've delayed from receiving this valuable asset of supportive equipment that they could use to save lives and do their jobs more effectively. This guy, Richard Garcia Acosta, I'm Hispanic. And this guy, he showed up to a town hall forum that we did and with the press conference. And this guy, believe it or not, heckled me. When I said, I'm 100% Hispanic, we care about what's happening to the Hispanic community, because they claim that they care about communities of color, brown and black folks, right? Well, Escobar, I'm 100% Hispanic, and we do care, and I'm fluent in Spanish. So I know what's going on with the Hispanic community. And this is unleashing greater crime disproportionately on our communities of brown and black members of Oakland. So what they're doing is the exact opposite of what they should be doing.
Yes, it is. I'm looking for some stuff on him to share with the people, but you know what?
So
It's a lie.
it's not just Richard Garcia Acosta. It's also Omar Farmer, Wilson Riles Jr. There's a number of them. There's only one
There's
DeWitt,
only, yeah.
Commissioner DeWitt, who has common sense. He's the only one that's there. The other ones really. I mean, the entire commission just needs to be abolished. Needs to be defunded. Period. Let's reimagine their reimagining because
Yes,
they
let's
need to be
reimagine that they're not here spending countless hours with our
exactly.
police chief.
Dollars, time, every day that goes by, people are dying, businesses are dying, our communities are dying because of these folks. And they really, their whole self-importance is based on them being on this commission.
Let's
You know,
let them finish up, and then we're gonna get to the end rants. I want to hear what else
yeah,
he had to say.
go
Making
ahead.
sure that we're crafting smart policies such as the Pursue policy, a unanimous vote supporting OPD and the chief with his recommendations that he wanted.
Those with the Anti-Police Terror Project say this is bigger than the commission. It's a reoccurring theme within the department leadership within the last decade.
The police chief leaving is not an isolated event. It's year after year, chief after chief. It's a systemic failure inside OPD.
Mitchell is the 11th chief to serve Oakland in the last 15 years.
No mention
the
of Robert
consensus from
Warsaw
all
in the NSA.
wanting a police chief to remain in the position long term.
It's not a reputation that I would love Oakland to have, and this turnover does lead to instability.
With the deep love that we all have for our city, we hope that the next chief commits long-term and rolls up the sleeves and gets done with this, making the city a better place.
Not with you idiots
Chief
there.
Mitchell's resignation is effective on December 5th. I spoke with the president, and he says they're working with city leaders on a timeline and a process to search for a new chief. I'm Sarah Stinson reporting at Oakland.
I'm gonna have to wrap it up.
Isn't it ironic that just like Tsingtao, now Tsingtao 2.0, blah blah Lee doesn't have a police chief either?
That's correct. Yeah, it's a repeat of failed policy that we're looking at, and it's unfortunate, but who's suffering because of this is going to be the people of Oakland and the adjacent communities for these failed policies. So I'm going to have to wrap it up at this point. So thank you for having me on, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you, Mr. Escobar. You be safe out there. Peace, brother.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, there y'all have it. It's the police commission, y'all. That's why he's all defensive and butthurt about it. Notice that in Chief Mitchell's his letter, he didn't thank the police commission or anybody from Oakland. Let's look up Floyd Mitchell's resignation letter. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read this resignation letter. Give me a second, I'm looking it up. Okay, all I have is this statement here, but I am going to share my screen to read this one here. Because I thought, when I read it, I thought it was really interesting. It has been an honor to serve the Oakland community, and I am grateful for the support I've received from the residents, Mitchell said in a prepared statement. I'm incredibly proud of the men and women of this department and the collaborative working relationships forged with the community and business owners to reduce crime. My commitment over the weeks ahead is to help ensure a smooth transition and continue to keep Oakland safe. He didn't mention a police commission and the countless hours he spent with a police commission and not doing his job. He didn't mention the mayor. He didn't mention elected officials. He didn't mention anyone from City Hall. He mentioned community members and business owners. Community members and business owners. The same community member and business owners who have been screaming for more support and help from the police. So now we have a city auditor's report pointing out yet more dysfunction in Oakland's 911. We have ramming robs all over the city. We have a mayor, blah, blah, Lee, lying about crime. Progressives have destroyed the city. It is the progressives. You guys need to wake up, seriously. By the way, I got a very, very encouraging text message voicemail from a longtime Oaklander telling me that they watch my show, that they appreciate what I'm doing, and they want to meet with me about getting back into the political arena. That's why we make the show. That's why we're making it. And that's why the Soggies are terrified, because they cannot continue to ignore the voices of Oaklanders. They can't. They want to ignore us for these out-of-towners who parachuted in, and granted, I'm not from here either, but I'm not running the city claiming that I'm on town biz and all this crap. So just for a recap, Carol Fife is from Michigan. Kat Brooks is from Las Vegas. Dan Cobb is from Santa Cruz. Nikki Fortunato Batch is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Barbara Lee is from Galveston, Texas. Charlene Wang is, I don't even know where the hell she's from. She ain't from Oakland, though. Rebecca Kaplan, she was from literally fucking Canada. I could go on, but there's a theme here. All those reporters from Oakland side, Soggy side, I just reported on yesterday, they don't live here. Darwin Bankram lives in Berkeley. Eli Wolf doesn't live here. They don't live here. They don't live in the communities that they really help destroy. They like to sit perched from their little ivory towers, and they parachuted in with these extremely well-funded ecosystems of nonprofit, public sector labor unions, etc. How come Oakland side hasn't run a story yet on the fact that there's a revolt in Oakland's city workers? Just to give you a little sense right here, why haven't we heard a peep about this? I know it's kind of off topic, but I'm just going to end with this. Why haven't we heard a peep, and I'm going to do an episode on this, about this? Oakland Workers United. So 25% of SEIU Local 1021's Oakland chapter has elected to stop paying dues and dropped out the union. 1 out of 4. And where are they going, might you ask? They're going to Oakland Workers United. And this is a new union, organizing for the workers. 100 years of collective experience. Our newly formed union brings together former and current union members, officers, and stewards with over a century of combined experience fighting for workers' rights. And they want to get away from SEIU because they do things like give money, $50,000 of their dues money to help support a recalled corrupt mayor, Shing Tao. And they don't put money into the chapter. They extract over $1 million in dues and resources. Well, not anymore since we took it away 25% of that. So they extract over $750,000 in dues and resources that they don't put back into the chapter. I say that because at most there's only two full-time employees assigned to this chapter, which means that the majority of the money that they're paying in dues goes toward politics or statewide or nationwide SEIU social justice fights. And so, yeah, they want their own union. And they're organizing. But you haven't heard a single thing about it. Typically, a decertification campaign of this magnitude would warrant some sort of media exposure. But no, our local news is public relations for the failing regime, people in City Hall, who are destroying our city. I feel like a repetitive robot saying it over and over again, but I don't really know what else to say. These people just follow the money. They are supported by mega billionaires, some of the richest people in the world, pushing these 15-minute cities and just let everybody live in a pod and you own nothing and be happy agenda. And as crazy as it sounds, that's exactly what's playing out right now. You don't think that they know that their policies destroy public safety? You don't think this police commission doesn't know that spending countless hours with our police chief? You just heard him say it. We spent countless hours with the police chief. You think a police chief wants to spend countless hours with a police commission trying to make a case for why they need to chase criminals through the streets, or why they need to buy new rifles that are worn out, or why they should be able to keep their Bearcat that they've had for decades and not make some new Frankenstein Bearcat with strapping some armor plates on top of an SUV? You think that's what he wants to spend his time doing? Because that's what he's spending his time doing. Well, not anymore, because he's going back to Texas. He's going back to Texas and saying, Oakland, I can't do it no more. Y'all on your own. It's above me now. Peace, y'all. I love you. It's Saturday. I got to get out of here, have me some fun on this beautiful day. But yeah, man, it ain't all good in the hood in Oakland. And we are not going to see a turnaround until we get these dangerous progressive ideologues out the freaking paint. Stop supporting them. Stop supporting anyone who says different. They're going to lie and not use the word progressive anymore. They already started that. But we'll let you know who they are. All you have to do is follow the money. We'll let you know who they are. Anyway, love y'all. Peace.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.